Hello, everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Los Angeles Police Department Chief Michael Moore announced the 2023 crime statistics. Overall, there were fewer homicides and victims of violent crime. Partnerships with business and specially formed task forces played a key role in reducing other criminal activity across the city.
The 2023 homicide report.
So here today, what you observe is that we held our year-end press conference, which is usually held every year in January by the Chief of Police and the Mayor.
Overall, Los Angeles in 2023 achieved a 3% reduction in violent crime, experiencing reductions in every category with just over 1,000 fewer victims of violent crime here in our city. Most significant was the success of seeing 65 fewer homicides, but we also had 127 fewer shooting victims. We also saw marked reductions in smash and grab robberies and follow-home robberies directly tied to the effectiveness of our focused task forces working with our business communities, with overall reductions in robbery just under 5%. Our metropolitan officers working in their crime impact teams with our divisional detectives in place of uniformed patrols supported countless investigations across the city, resulting in 279 felony arrests and 413 firearms being recovered, including 59 ghost guns. Now, a challenging trend that we have seen on the rise is in property crime, where we saw a year-over-year increase of 3%, but also auto theft and retail theft.
If you've been a victim of crime, or if there has been criminal activity or circumstances in your neighborhood, regardless of the statistics, regardless of this good report, you might not feel that way, but we are addressing it.
It is important for both the mayor and the chief to have and inform citizens of Los Angeles what is happening with the department, what is being improved on, and how we can improve. Our goal is to build community trust and be transparent, and this is part of that, having a press conference and showing the people and answering those tough questions that Angelenos may have.
I'm proud of the work that we've seen. I'm proud of the work that we've seen both by our rank and file, our detectives, our specialized resources, as well as our work with communities across Los Angeles for a safer Los Angeles.
And so when we have this report today, it's no small matter to me. Keeping our communities safe is not just the job of the police, but the job of all of us working together.
As the cost of living continues to rise, there is real value in a food giveaway. The Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, CHIRLA, along with the Office of Council Member Eunices Hernandez, hosted an event to help Angelenos with a bag of free food.
Bueno, el día de hoy estamos muy contentos porque estamos colaborando con la oficina de nuestra concejal Eunices Hernández en una distribución de comida aquí a nuestros miembros de esta comunidad. El proveer a despensas de comida fue algo que nos enfocamos porque miramos la gran necesidad que nuestra gente tenía. Como ustedes saben, esa necesidad continúa y a través de ese tiempo es que nosotros continuamos con estos esfuerzos de proveer comida para nuestros miembros. Ustedes saben que ahorita la comida está por las nubes, está bastante cara. Nosotros consideramos que por una bolsita de esta estamos gastando no menos de $50 y es un gran ahorro para nuestra gente porque como ustedes saben, ahorita en nuestras familias, 1 de cada 4 personas está teniendo problemas de poder llevar a comida a sus mesas. Por lo menos vamos a estar distribuyendo 200 bolsas de comida para nuestra gente. La gente únicamente tiene que venir, formarse, no les pedimos documentos, no les pedimos ninguna información y con muchísimo gusto, con muchísimo cariño proveemos estas bolsas de comida para nuestra gente.
La verdad muy bueno porque ahorita últimamente pues todo está bien caro, luego no sé si saben que nos subieron la renta. Entonces sí es de gran ayuda. Yo tengo 2 niños, yo solita pago mi renta, entonces yo trabajo, ¿verdad? Pero no me alcanza y cuando miro yo lugares así trato la manera de ir para que me puedan ayudar.
Es muy buena ayuda para las personas que de veras ahorita estamos en necesidad del alimento porque ya ve que está subiendo demasiado todo. Es muy buena ayuda.
Pues nosotros agradecemos a la ciudad de Los Ángeles, agradecemos a nuestros concejales que están interesados en seguir proveyendo servicios directos a nuestra comunidad. Nosotros en CHIRLA estamos muy emocionados y muy contentos de poder colaborar, de poder servir y de poder establecer estas relaciones que nos ayuden a brindar servicios a nuestra gente. Muchísimas gracias y que viva Los Ángeles y que viva nuestra ciudad.
Traditionally, there has been an underreporting of hate incidents as they occur. Now, anyone experiencing hate can report incidents online, allowing for improved response times and more accurate tracking of these crimes.
So today is a historic day in the city of Los Angeles. At a press conference earlier today, Chief Michael Moore and Assistant Chief Blake Chow unveiled the new online reporting system that allows hate incidents to be reported in the city of Los Angeles.
Policing is best when it's identified by the community as to how it wants policing done. The recommendation, the request for us to add to our online reporting system hate instances, it found a footing.
This means that all victims of hate, all communities, now can report online when they've been victimized by any type of hate incident and then get the appropriate response, both from law enforcement, but really for the community and for community organizations like the Anti-Defamation League.
We saw in our statistics that people were underreporting hate incidents, and a lot of that has to do with they don't want to wait for the police. There's part of the community that doesn't trust the police, so they don't want to call 911. There's people that don't want to wait around. There's a whole host of reasons why people would not want to call and report a hate incident, but now there's a way they can just go on their phone or their computer and report a hate incident online and put it into our database of what's happening in our community.
Hate reporting is important for us as a city to understand, not only in terms of data and trends, but more importantly, so that we can accurately respond, as well as provide the needed resources, programs, and initiatives to address the impact that so many in our local communities are unfortunately feeling with the drastic increase in hate crimes and hate incidents here in Los Angeles. Our most important achievement is to make accessible hate reporting and hate incidents so that we can appropriately address community needs in that regard.
This bowl is not one you use for cereal. Instead, it's a contest featuring questions on math, science, and technology. Anyone? The answer is, what is the U.S. Department of Energy's National Science Bowl? And I'd also have accepted, what is the LADWP Practice Science Bowl?
Name all the following 4 choices that are typically considered fossil fuels.
Well, today we have a practice session enabling the high school teams to practice and prepare for the actual Science Bowl competition in March.
The Pliocene epoch is part of what era of the geological timescale?
We're holding this scrimmage in order for students to participate, to get an understanding of the types of questions they're asking, the format of the competition, which follows a game show format with students answering toss-up and bonus questions, which are all math, science, technology based.
If no one buzzes in within those 5 seconds, then no one gets the toss-up one.
The questions are provided by the Department of Energy, which is the national sponsor, and LADWP is the sponsor for the regional competition, which covers the city of LA and also the Los Angeles Unified School District area.
That is correct. 10 points, Team A.
Well, my motivation is I like to represent my school, as well as learning all these science topics will help me when I want to eventually become a doctor, as well as in other local science competitions in the school and in the country.
I find science fun, so it's less of a chore and more just having fun, learning new things, and also helping other people. My school's middle school team, I help them with their questions and help them study, and I have fun doing it. It takes a lot of hard work, And the most important thing is to have fun doing it. If you think it's a chore, then Science Bowl is probably not for you. You need to love science, you need to love working with other people, helping other people, and having fun.
The LADWP High School Regional Science Bowl takes place in March, and we wish all the competitors good luck. LAFD advises on fire safety. LA Animal Services offers a pet food pantry, and LA's housing department gives an update on the end of a COVID-era rent freeze. These stories up next on City Beat.
The Los Angeles Fire Department, LAFD, wants to remind Angelinos to use caution and to be safe during a fire emergency. Fires are unpredictable and can change direction or increase in intensity within seconds, which is why it is important to follow these LAFD reminders. Practice your fire escape plan with your family. Make sure there are 2 exits from each room and choose a safe meeting place outdoors. Test your smoke alarms monthly, and if your smoke alarm sounds, don't delay, get low and go. Once you're out, stay out. Call 911 and follow the dispatcher's instructions. Do not go back inside. For more tips on staying safe during a fire, please visit lafd.org. LA Animal Services wants you to know if you're low income or having financial hardships with feeding your pet, you don't have to give them up. You have options. Pet owners can now go to a pet food pantry offered at 3 LA Animal Service Centers: Chesterfield Square, East Valley, and North Central. At each pet food event, a 1-gallon bag of dog or cat food will be given to participants for up to 3 cats and/or dogs. Participants in the pet food pantry must be the pet's owner, live in the city of Los Angeles, and should make an appointment to attend the pantry. Register online for the pet food pantry every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Find out more at laanimalservices.com/petfoodpantry. The City of Los Angeles COVID-era rent freeze that prohibited increases for Rent Stabilization Ordinance (RSO) rental units expired on January 31st, 2024. From February 1st through June 30th, 2024, the allowable rent increase for RSO units is 4%. If the landlord provides the utilities for the unit, rent can increase an additional 1% per utility. Landlords must provide an advance 30-day written notice for rent increases. Public counters are open and available for Angelinos to visit and receive housing assistance. For more information on the Housing Department, go to housing2.lacity.org.
Whether it's an earthquake or a power outage, information on what to do in different kinds of emergencies is available. Public safety partners, first responders, and emergency management organizations came together in Venice to teach community members that no matter what happens, they can be disaster resilient.
We are holding an all-hazards town hall here at Penmar Recreation Center in Venice. We are joined by public safety partners from across city agencies. The fire department, the police department, the emergency management department are out here to answer questions and educate the public about what to do in different kinds of emergencies and natural disasters.
We will be dealing with earthquake response, tsunami, power failures, as well as targeted violence, and so how individuals and the community can work together with our responding government partners to be disaster resilient.
Imagine if you didn't have to call 911, or imagine if when a disaster happens and 911 is triaging or saving the lives of thousands of people, and you were able to take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, or your neighbors. That's truly why we're here, but more importantly, it's part of our strategic plan in building resiliency to the community.
This was put together by our local neighborhood council, the Venice Neighborhood Council. A lot of the areas in Los Angeles will have a local neighborhood council that hosts events like this. So if you're looking for more information on how to get involved and how to support your community, I strongly recommend looking up your local neighborhood council and participating that way.
Events like this allow us to come out and have direct engagement with community members as well as with our city partners. It really shows the dedication of all city entities and the community to come out, come together, and take part in an event like this.
So having that information about what to do in case of an emergency, how to prepare for those types of events, and what to do if it happens is critically important.
It's an annual contest and a battle for bragging rights when law enforcement agencies go head-to-head, or should we say arm-to-arm. When every donation matters, it's time to roll up those sleeves for the annual Battle of the Badges blood drive.
Today we are kicking off the Battle of the Badges. This is the 18th annual friendly competition for all of our first responders across LA and Southern California to collect as much blood as possible by March 31. We've had one every year and we've collected over 50,000 units of blood.
We partner with other first responders, law enforcement, fire departments, EMS, whomever. Battle of the Badges, so it's a little bit of a friendly competition to see which organization can actually donate the most blood. We know how important that is. Right now, there's not enough blood donations.
I needed blood. I was in the emergency room and needed blood, and it was available because a volunteer donor rolled up their sleeve and donated blood.
One thing that's really neat that a lot of people don't know is when you donate on the Red Cross app, about 3 weeks later, it tells you where the blood ended up. I've had my blood end up in Tustin to Turlock to Chula Vista, all throughout the state of California, and it just reinforces that the needs are all over the state.
There's a lot of opportunities either to participate in the Battle of the Badges with us, where you could donate and be next to a firefighter or law enforcement individual, or Red Cross is always looking for donations.
It's easy. If you're in generally good health, you'll probably qualify, so come on, sign up for a blood drive. We have an app. You get a health screening, and you'll save 3 lives.
You can truly make a significant difference. Donate blood, you're going to save a life.
Once upon a time in Little Tokyo, there was a celebration of Osogatsu, the Japanese New Year. The Little Tokyo branch of Los Angeles Public Library hosted this special story time for young Angelinos to hear stories in Japanese and to learn more about Japanese language and culture.
We're having a Japanese story time that is celebrating Oshogatsu, which is the Japanese New Year. We are really happy to have all the people be introduced to the Japanese culture through this story time.
We were happy and grateful that this was like a free event. Everybody here was very kind, friendly, welcoming with this Japanese reading. We learned some words in Japanese. That's like an introduction. We never know like what that can lead to for the Japanese language, Japanese culture.
The children are just fascinated by the presentation of our children's librarian. She is such a skillful presenter. She does a great job with entertaining the children and also teaching them a few Japanese phrases and words.
お正月は1年間大きな幸福をお家に持ってきてくれるという年神様を家族でみんなでお迎えする行事なんです。なのでお正月は日本人にとってとってもめでたくて大切な行事です。そしてお正月は日本で一番古い行事とも言われています。お正月には遠くから家族がみんなふるさとに集まって時間をゆっくり過ごすんですね。
Everybody here was very welcoming, even though I didn't really understand the language. The songs and the reading was very easy to follow along, and we even learned how to pick up some words. Everybody was just very engaging.
Come and enjoy the Japanese story times. They're on the first and third Saturdays of every month.
I want to have kids to have like a Japanese oshogatsu experience. That's why like I did this program today.
Little Tokyo Library holds its Japanese story time on the first and third Saturday of the month. For more information on this and other library events, visit Los Angeles Public Library online at lapl.org. An unassuming adobe in North Hollywood holds the title of Birthplace of California. It was at Campo de Cahuenga in 1847 that a peace treaty was signed between the U.S. and Mexico, giving rise to the state we call home today. Take a look.
This is the place, the Campo de Cahuenga, that was really the birthplace of American California. Other than the original pueblo of Los Angeles, this is undoubtedly the most historic location in all of Los Angeles. This was the place where the Treaty of Cahuenga was signed. It was a magnanimous treaty by which the Californios and the Americans really laid a foundation to live together in peace at the conclusion of the Mexican-American War. And of course, subsequently, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo ended the war in its entirety and ceded California formally to the United States. But it was at this spot where the hostilities ended and really American California began.
So I think overall, the presentation itself was excellent. Paul Krikorian's so involved in this community, which I know everyone here appreciates it. I lived in North Hollywood over 20 years ago, drove by here all the time, never knew what it was. And it wasn't until I started to learn about it and was like, wait a second, that's right over there? Like right across from Universal, what? And the fact that this almost got removed, I think is a little scary.
I enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about the Campo until my husband brought me tonight, but as the speaker was presenting, the film history and then the California history just come alive and come together, and he was painting pictures and I could visualize it because I've been there. I've seen those things. You gotta tell it like a story, because that's what it is. These are real people, these are real men, these are real women, these are real things that happened, and when you read about them in a book, it can be very stale. And it's hard to relate to them, but when people and when children especially, they see the humanity of it and it comes alive and they can visualize it, that's what's going to get them excited and that's what's going to get them to care about places like this. I think it's an important place. I think it's a beautiful place. I hope they keep preserving it.
The LAPD's Air Support Unit started as a means to help out the traffic division, but now there's a helicopter at every major incident and emergency. The Air Support Team maintains that the mission is the same, only the vehicle has changed.
I'm Captain James Lopez, and I am the Commanding Officer of Air Support Division, and we are on top of the Hooper Memorial Heliport. Air Support was first created in 1956, so 68 years of continuous service.
LAPD Air Support Division, originally it was a traffic division. So the helicopters would go up just to see where the traffic is around the city of Los Angeles. And throughout the years, obviously, we've grown to a crime-fighting division. I am the Assistant Commanding Officer of Air Support Division. The day-to-day functionality of the division is, you have multiple sections. You have ASTRO, Air Support to Regular Operations, that's what it stands for. And they go out on a daily basis, and they are a patrol ship in the sky. So the common calls are assault with deadly weapons, pursuits, robberies, burglaries. So any high priority calls we will respond to.
The average response time can be anywhere from a matter of seconds to maybe up to 2 minutes. The airship has the capability to reach either down from San Pedro all the way to Northridge within about 10 minutes. So generally we usually have 2 helicopters in the air at one time, and we'll split the city in half. Generally right it down about the 10 freeways, the dividing line. One for the valley and one for the south end of the city.
On the average, we're usually there many a times before patrol gets there. I think last year we're in the vicinity of around 6,000 calls to where we were there first before the patrol unit gets there. The advantage of that is you're able to scope out the area, and when patrol is coming in, give them the path of least resistance or identify a suspect before they get there.
By being overhead, it takes away the unknown and provides the known to officers.
I think one of the most important things to understand is how do you quantify what you do in the sky? You go out to a call. You tell an officer, hey, the suspect's right around the corner, they have a gun or a knife that they would have not normally have seen. How do you quantify or translate that on paper? You can't put that on paper. Each and every one of these guys and girls that go out every day, all they want to do is protect the public and ensure, the officers are safe and go home at night. I want the public to know how passionate our officers are in wanting to help them. Although they never see them face to face, they're there on a daily basis for them, their families, as well as the officers on the ground.
In this week's Things to Do, enjoy the Crushes Art Show and Zine Fest. Take a tour of the African American Firefighter Museum and relish in some grim fairy stories at the Central Library. All this up next on Things to Do.
With Valentine's Day around the corner, what better way to show your love of art than to support local artists whose work will be on display at the Center for the Arts Eagle Rock. This exhibition is Valentine's themed and celebrates crushes of all sorts. Explore the work of zine artists at this one-day festival and enjoy a Polaroid photo booth on site as part of the fun. The exhibition is open to the public, admission is free, and it's all taking place on Saturday, February 10th from 12 p.m. For more information on Crushes, Art Show, and Zine Fest, visit the website of the Center for the Arts Eagle Rock at cfaer.org/exhibitions. Book your spot for a Sunday afternoon at the African American Firefighter Museum. Historic Fire Station number 30, once a segregated firehouse, is now home to a unique museum. Take a guided tour to hear stories and little-known facts about the history of African American firefighters. The museum offers an up-close look at a real fire truck, a kid's corner, and photo opportunities in the station and around the grounds. Get a glimpse into the history of firefighting in Los Angeles at the African American Firefighter Museum. The museum is open to the public on Sunday afternoons from 1 p.m. and is free to attend. Get your timed entry ticket online at aaffmuseum.org. It's Storytime with a Difference. The Los Angeles Public Library invites you to My Bloody Valentine, a storytime for adults. Catch a live performance of 3 of the goriest fairy tales on offer from the Brothers Grimm. The tales will be performed by a full cast in Reader's Theater format, using a dramatic approach to the fairy stories. Bring a Valentine or not. This event is free, open to the public, and not for the faint-hearted. Prepare for a shocking and bloody good time in Meeting Room A at the Los Angeles Central Library on Saturday, February 10th at 2 p.m. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's all for this week. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can watch us online anytime at lacityview.org, and we're also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.